Okay, it's 6:32. Mauricio, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Everyone could please have a seat. I'm calling the meeting to order, 6:32. Mauricio?
Okay. Commissioner Joseph,
Present.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Here.
Commissioner Stuyvesant, Commissioner Vizcarra,
Here.
Mayor Svechin,
Here.
all members present, ma'am.
Great, thank you. If you could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Falkovich, if you can lead us in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Have an invocation?
We do. Rabbi.
Rabbi, come up for an invocation.
All right, good evening, everybody. It's good to see you. I'm Rabbi Barron from Chabad of Sunny Isles. Dear God, Master of the universe, we stand humbled before you this evening as we recognize all of your blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We are mindful of the fact that you have blessed the city with wonderful leadership, direction, dedication, and guiding spirit, which has resulted in many successful achievements over the last 28 years. We recognize that we are gathered before you this evening in pursuit of fulfilling your wishes, as you, dear God, empowered humanity with 7 basic universal laws after the great flood of Noah. These laws were once again reaffirmed by Moses at Mount Sinai to be taught to all of humanity. Universal laws that provide a framework of law, order, and justice which allow humanity to settle the earth in a civilized manner. We recognize that we have been entrusted by the citizens of Sunny Isles Beach to perform this sacred duty. Almighty God, please provide us with the consciousness to constantly be aware of your presence so that we are consistent to our mandate. Please grant us the courage, strength, wisdom, intuition, sensitivity, and the patience necessary to succeed, so we leave a legacy of having a positive impact upon society for many generations to come. Protect our police force, our servicemen and women serving domestically and overseas in the name of freedom and democracy. Please give them the peace of mind, insight, and intuition to be successful. Please guide our city staff to make the right decisions with honesty, integrity, and knowledge for all of our citizens into the future. And may they continue to serve as positive role models for our beautiful community. May everyone gathered here tonight and all the residents of Sunny Isles Beach be granted with good health, peace of mind, and prosperity. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mauricio?
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, so we have the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the regular city commission meeting of April 17th.
I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
you.
so if you can play the opening and then we'll do the order.
Okay, thank you.
The room feels a little off balance. If we were
Good
on a
evening,
boat, we'd
ladies
be in
and
trouble.
gentlemen. We appreciate your attendance and thank you for joining us tonight. Before we begin, there are a few important reminders regarding conduct during our commission meetings. Please ensure all electronic devices are turned off or set to silent mode to maintain the integrity of our proceedings. Mutual respect is the foundation of productive discussions. We ask that everyone remain silent and attentive when someone is addressing the commission. Clapping, applauding, heckling, or any verbal outbursts, either in support or opposition of the speaker, are strictly prohibited. Any individual wishing to address the commission must fill out a public speaker's card and submit it to the city clerk before the relevant item is announced. Each speaker is granted a maximum of 3 minutes. Should you exceed this time, the chair will notify you to conclude your remarks. Speak directly to the agenda's points. Remain concise and avoid redundancy. Should an individual speak without the chair's permission or continue speaking after a warning, they may be escorted out of the chambers. It is essential to avoid making impertinent, slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the commission. Such behavior may lead to being barred from future commission appearances, unless the majority of the commission members present vote otherwise. The presiding officer may disallow signs or placards in the commission chamber. Please exit the chamber quietly and without disruption. The goal of our meetings is to facilitate public input and participation. However, disruptive or disorderly conduct hinders our collective objective. Individuals who want to speak on an item on the agenda are asked to fill out a public speaker's card and give it to the city clerk before the item is called. Speakers are asked to speak to the issues, make comments concise and to the point, and refrain from making duplicate comments. All speakers will be limited to 1 3-minute comment per item. If you exceed the 3-minute allotment, the chair will advise you to finish your comment. If you speak out of turn without permission from the chair and/or you do not cease speaking after one warning, you will be escorted out of chambers. In order to maintain orderly conduct and/or proper decorum at these meetings, anyone who interferes with the orderly process of the meetings after a warning may be removed from the meeting and may be barred from further appearance before the City Commission, as permitted in S-286, 0114, FS and SS 74-5 and 74-21 of the City's Code of Ordinances. Any necessary removal will be made at the direction of the mayor and will be carried out by law enforcement or a designated sergeant at arms. It is essential that attendees adhere to these rules of procedure to ensure productive meetings that serve both the public and the City Commission. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding.
Great, thank you. And we have a lot of people, new faces in the audience, so welcome. Very nice. We do this every month, third Thursday, so it'd be great to see you again.
Yes.
Since so many of you have not been here before, I just want to clarify some of what you saw. If you want to speak, please fill out the item in the back. Also, this room has very good acoustics. So if you're talking to each other, we hear it here. So please, if you do need to have a conversation, please take it outside. And we abide by strict rules here. So please follow those rules. Anything that you all want to say, you will say it to me directly, to the chair, rather than to anyone in the commission. And with that, I think that, Mauricio, for the order of business, unless there is an objection, I'd like to move 9K to the beginning of the resolutions so that these folks can get home to make dinner for their kids.
Well,
Okay, so
please
before we,
also don't be one issue residents.
Okay, thank you.
okay, so
Yeah.
before we vote on that, there are just some minor revisions to the agenda.
Okay,
Some additional information has been provided, namely the ordinance for 6A for the flood prevention and the resolution for 9E, which is the authorization to the city manager to negotiate and execute an agreement with Millennium Products for the surveillance cameras in the elevators.
those are all provided to the public as
Yes,
well?
ma'am.
Okay, great. All right, I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Favor?
Aye.
All right, Mauricio, go ahead. First item.
First item is 5A, zoning. And I will read the introductory statement. If you just give me 1 second, Mayor. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this evening's agenda has one zoning application. In these matters, the commission sits in a quasi-judicial capacity. The decision of whether or not to approve a zoning variance is not a popularity contest, but must be based upon substantial competent evidence that is presented tonight. If you intend to provide testimony on any zoning application, you must be sworn in by the city clerk, and you should also fill out a public speaker's card and give it to the city clerk before the item is called. We will first hear from the city staff and then from the applicant. After this, the mayor will allow anyone from the audience who has been sworn in to provide testimony. The zoning applicant has a right to cross-examine any witness and for rebuttal. Please make your comments concisely. So anyone that will be speaking on item 5A, which is the zoning application for a site plan modification for the Chateau Beach condominiums located at 17475 Collins Avenue. Please raise your right arm. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. And before we turn it over to Amy, are there any ex-party communications that need to be disclosed
No.
by anyone? No. Perfect. Just to confirm, Commissioner Joseph, did you have any ex-party communications?
None.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. This is zoning application PZ 2025-05 for a minor site plan modification at the Chateau Beach condominiums. The applicant is Artistic Building Studio, and the project is located at 17475 Collins Avenue, which is directly north of Sampson Oceanfront Park. The request is a site plan modification related to the facade of the building and the exterior materials. Specifically to replace the existing artificial and natural vegetation with porcelain tiles, aluminum panels, and to construct a new porte-cochere canopy at the entrance drive. So for a brief history, the project was originally approved by the Commission in 2012, and the facade that was facing Collins at the time was approved with stucco and white paint. And then in 2014, a minor modification was approved administratively to extend two of the wall segments upward and face them with the artificial and natural vegetation, as well as move the approved sculpture piece up to the entrance drive to the more visible location. So the project was completed in 2016, and this is a photo of the existing conditions today. And this is the proposed the rendering of the proposed facade improvements. So the artificial and natural vegetation will be removed and replaced with the white porcelain tile, wood grain aluminum planks, and the parking structure will be refaced with aluminum panels. And here you can also see that the porte-cochere is added above the entrance drive. The exterior colors remain consistent with the city's color palette, so it's consistent with the land development regulations. And the applicant's presentation has a lot more rendering, so I'll let them walk through it a bit more with you. So I'll be available if you have questions.
Great, thank you. Applicant would like to come up.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I will be presenting the renovation.
Have your name and address for the record.
Yes, of course. I'm so sorry. My name is Maria Clara Campo. My address is 2100 Southwest 8th Street, Miami. Thank you.
Could
I
you
will
please
be
speak into the microphone. Yes. Perfect. Yes.
Okay.
Big difference.
I will be presenting the renovation project for Chateau Beach. Chateau Beach is seeking to refresh and renew its facade. So we basically want to go ahead with the project for three main reasons. The first one is to keep modern standards. So since the building was created, the Chateau Group has completed many new modern buildings developed in Sunny Isles, such as the Ritz-Carlton and St. Regis, and others such as the Fendi Tower in North Miami Beach. So basically, the group is committed on maintaining these high design levels and high standard, and that's one of the main reasons. The second one is to, due to sun exposure, oxidation, and humidity, the grass on the main facade has deteriorated. So replacing the facade or the damaged pieces would result in mismatched patches. The third one is this renovation is also part of our commitment to maintaining the image and quality of Collins Avenue. So Chateau Beach is not only a backdrop to a public park, they have a public park right next to the building, So it's also part of the community's visual landscape. So they want to maintain everything. The modifications are very simple and minor, so we kindly ask your approval and permission and collaboration on this.
Is that it?
Yes, we can go through all of the changes that we are.
I don't think we need the changes unless we have specific questions. Do we have, we don't have any public speakers,
No,
correct?
ma'am.
All right, does the commission want to ask us specific questions? Commissioner Viscar, did you have questions?
There's nothing structural here, right? This is all just, yeah. Okay, that's my only, thank you.
Vice Mayor?
No questions. No, it's
No?
all cosmetic.
Of course. ¿Puedes poner render? Yeah. So it will be basically to replace the fake grass with three main elements: the porcelain tiles, the micro perforated mesh panels, and the aluminum wood cladding. And we would also like to put a canopy on the ballet area. And that's it. Installing the wood cladding on the planters on the side. So the before and after.
Okay, do you have any other questions? I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
You still?
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The application is approved 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Next item, please.
Next item is ordinances for first reading. 6A is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 161 to specify elevation requirements for manufactured homes in Florida hazard areas and flood hazard areas, providing for applicability and severability, and providing for an effective date.
Okay.
Mayor, excuse me, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this ordinance is requested in coordination with the National Flood Insurance Program. It's related to our community rating system. And though we don't have any manufactured homes here, it's still a requirement in order for us to continue in the program. And our goal is to lower our rating to get better flood insurance for our residents.
Great. Do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Take comments from the commission?
None.
Take a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Need a second?
Second.
Mauricio?
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The ordinance passes on first reading. Second reading will be scheduled for June.
Okay. Second reading ordinances?
Ordinance for second reading. 8A is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 2024-618, approving budget amendment number BA 2425-04 to the city's operating and capital improvements budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to implement the terms and conditions of this ordinance, providing for an effective date.
Great. Thank you.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is a second reading of our budget amendment. We have added a few items that we discussed during our workshop, which is 5 vehicles totaling $170K, 110 for a storage building for public works, and the lifeguard towers that you requested at the last meeting.
Great. Do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any comments or questions from the commission?
No? No.
I'll take a motion then.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Mauricio?
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The ordinance is adopted.
Okay. Next item.
We are into resolutions now.
Wait, no, we have, oh, you're right, okay. So we're gonna hear 9K.
9K first.
So if anyone is here for 9K and you wanted to fill out a speaker card, this is your opportunity to do that. So we're going to first have the staff present it, and then you can come up to speak. And I know that there's a lot of you, so if you can choose maybe one or two people, that would be great, because just we ask that you don't, all say the same thing, but certainly if you all want to speak, you have that opportunity. Okay.
You all have a right to speak.
Mr. Manager?
Mayor, I'm so sorry. Well, number one, I need to read the title into the record.
Yes, thank you.
And then just to avoid any further confusion, we did skip over 8B.
That's what I thought. But
Yes, my mistakes. But just to avoid any confusion, and because you made the announcement already, we'll just go ahead and hear 9K.
And then we'll go back to
And
8B.
we'll go back to 8B.
All right. So if you can read 9K, please.
Yes. So 9K is a resolution waiving the bidding requirements of Chapter 62 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, authorizing an increase in spending authority with Dream Kids World, LLC, formerly known as Dream for Kids, Inc., to provide theater classes for registrants of the Culture and Community Services programs.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the Commission, this is giving me the authorization to increase the spending authority with Dream Kids for the theater program. And the program is at capacity, and it's projected to exceed the allotted $50,000 threshold by the end of this programming season. And I wanted to clarify, per our city's procurement code, instructors are exempt from the formal bidding process, but my spend authority is limited at 50,000, and that's why if we project it to exceed 50, that it's here for your approval.
Okay. And before we have the public speakers, if you can please clarify exactly why we're going over the 50,000. How do we get to that?
The program had more, I guess, success in terms of enrollment than we anticipated.
Great. Thank you. Mauricio, public speakers?
Yes. Alexander Shalkanov. I'm so sorry if yes, come on.
Alexander, if you can please say your name and address for the record and speak into the microphone.
Okay. My name is Alexander Shelkanov. I'm 13 years old, and I've been...
Just your address, please, as well.
Sorry?
Your address as well.
Can I ask what's that? Sorry.
Your address, адрес, где ты живешь?
So...
Is mom here?
Yes. Okay.
Address is 174, 210 174th Street, apartment 1001.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead.
So, good afternoon, Madam Mayor, and everybody who's here. I've been a part of the Dreams for Kids Theater for approximately 2.5 years. So, I want to tell you what it means to me and other kids like me. So, firstly, it teaches us how to speak and be confident in ourselves. Because a lot of people that are my age don't know how to speak to other people publicly and are not confident in themselves. The theater makes it not a problem because it teaches us how to be confident and learn how to speak people. When you go onto the stage, you know that you want to send a message to the people. So, and for that, you need to be confident. Secondly, it's great teamwork. Me, I wasn't really a good teamwork person until I joined the theater. I was working with other people who are similar to me and also different. I didn't know how easy it was to do it until I joined it. So, I also want to talk about how it makes... I want to talk about how I connect with other people. So, how people that here aren't sometimes don't understand me as much as the people that are in the theater. The teachers, Irina and Maria, are very good teachers. I think that love them as teachers, and I love their teaching methods. I wouldn't replace them with any other teacher, even if I had the opportunity to. Sorry. I would. And when we heard the news that they want to close the theater, it was devastating to me and my friends that this opportunity that might even give us something amazing to do in life will be closed. So I would really not want for the theater to be closed. That's it.
Thank you. What grade are you in?
7th.
Great. Thank you. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Great
Next
job.
speaker.
Yes.
Next speaker is Zion Ben Yishai.
Hi. Your name and address for the record, please.
Zion Benishai, 230 174th Street. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much.
You could
Mayor.
lift the mark. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor and team, for making Sunny Isles such a great place to live in. I know it's a hard work. I'm a parent of one of the students in this theater class. I think that we're over budget because so many kids want to be in this program. Just shows how important this program is. I know we can talk a lot about what this program can contribute to the kids' social skills and way to express themselves and so on. But I would really like to give you 2 examples that my daughter brought to me that really showed me the values of what's happening there. I think this great kid before me was trying to explain it, but I think those 2 examples will give us a good idea of what's happening there. So I went to see one of their shows that they're doing every few months, and I believe I'm the only non-Russian speaking parent in this entire group. But obviously I see my little girl and I melt and I'm happy. But there were supposed to be 5 little girls coming out of the stage, and one of them slipped and fell down, and she immediately got up and tried to recover. And what I liked about this incident is my little girl came to me and told me that they made an agreement between them to tell all the parents that this is how it was supposed to happen. So they're all backing her up, and these are the values that I want my girl to grow up with. In another occasion, they had a party with candies and cakes, and my daughter was waiting for it for weeks. Unfortunately, she was sick during this event, and the teacher personally came in the middle of this event to my home, knocked on the door with a piece of cake and some candies, and made her super happy. So they bring, I think, a lot more than just the things that you could all imagine, which is how to play with each other, how to communicate, how to be a team, how to memorize. I mean, there are a lot of skills that comes into play here. I think that's very important. You see an army of parents behind me because all of them support this program with their whole heart because it became part of everybody's life. I know I had only 3 minutes. I hope I'm not going way past that, but I think that with everything that we invest in this community, that you invest in this community, I think this is really one thing that you should somehow find a way to make it happen and keep it going. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please, no clapping. Next person.
Anastasia Gershenko.
Mr. City Clerk, do they not see the timer?
Yes.
Oh, it's there. Okay. Thank you. All right. Your name and address for the record, please.
Hi. Anastasia Gronko, 16045 Collins Avenue, apartment 2034. I just want to clear up a couple of confusions here is that I know that 9K is on the budget issue, but I think we're all here today. It would be more appropriate to have it on item 11, Citizens Forum. But I think a lot of the people who came here tonight, what we want to say is that at some point back in May or maybe towards the end of the April, Nicholas, I don't want to butcher his last name, Rickshaw, right? Something like that. So he came to our teacher, Irina, and he told her that the camp that was scheduled to be in the beginning of June or mid-June, and the program that was scheduled to be in the fall is going to be canceled. So that was a shocking news to our children and to us as parents. So I'm not exactly sure what happened and what was the reason for the cancellation, but the rumor goes, again, it's a rumor, I don't have the official information, is that the program was supposed to be canceled because it was not fair to the English-speaking children, because they were not allowed to participate in the program because the entire group was in Russian, or the teaching and education was in Russian. So I'm not sure if this is true. If that's the case, there was an opportunity and the city opened up the program in English, and I believe it was canceled because it did not have a lot of enrollment, so they ended up canceling it. It was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that we're trying to understand the exact reasons as to what happened and why the program is about to be canceled, because as we just heard from the city manager, Stan Morris, we do have a significant enrollment. We have a lot of people. We are going over the budget. So it's a little bit confusing for us as parents to know why this is happening. So we wanted to get a little bit more clarification, and we wanted the city to encourage the city to look into the issue and to understand if there's a way for you, if this is the case, if the program is about to be canceled this summer and starting next fall, can we look into it and see if there's a way for you, the commission, to keep it open? I guess that's it.
Thank you. I just, thank you. You can have a seat. I just wanted to, no clapping, please, decorum. I want to clarify, this item is not a discussion about canceling this program. This item is to allow the city manager to sign a check that is more than he normally is allowed to, because he has to pay the teacher the amount that she's owed because of how successful the program is. So just this, that's not what this conversation is about. And so you may want to stay till the end, to the discussion portion, if you had other things that you wanted to discuss regarding the program. But again, please feel free to still speak on this. Mauricio?
That was the last one, Mayor.
Oh, okay. So public comment is closed. Do I have any questions or comments from the commission? Commissioner Joseph?
I actually have a question regarding the gentleman in the black T-shirt.
But we're not asking them. We're asking the
I can't
city.
ask.
Yes.
But I would like to know whether his daughter speaks Russian.
Okay, so we're not going back and
yes.
okay.
Thank you.
Just for everyone's clarification, we don't talk back and forth. So once the public comment is closed, it's to be fair, it's closed for everyone. Did you have any questions for the staff?
I do have questions.
Go ahead, please.
Commissioner, could you speak into the microphone, please?
Yes, I have questions for staff. Who am I speaking to?
To the manager?
Oh, to Stan. Are you able to answer the question? Answer questions?
What's your question?
Okay, so my question is, at what point when we had, is there a possibility to have this program expanded to different languages? And what support do we have for other languages besides Russian? I'm all for the Russian program, but what other, there may be other groups, English speaking, Spanish speaking, that have an interest. Did we originally, put the program out there in a correct manner to attract other groups as well to have an interest? Sometimes the way you present something affects the results you get.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I'll try to give you the Cliff's Notes version of those questions. The program originally started in English, and then it morphed into predominantly Russian. This was requested by the residents that were attending, and the English enrollment dropped off so that it ended up being exclusively in Russian. So that's the history of the program. Where we are now, I've discussed it with the staff, we would have the ability to add another theater program, but it would only be one. So you would have to direct us what language, for lack of a better word, you would like that program to be in. But we can only add one more due to the limitations of the staff and scheduling.
And just for the clarification, so we are doing this correctly, I want to ask the city attorney, since we are voting on something very specific, we're not voting on adding any programming, correct? I just want to make sure that we do this in the right manner, because this was not presented to the public as something that they can speak about.
Right. So this item is strictly on the approval of additional funds for an existing program for this fiscal year.
Right.
So you all can take comment if you want. That's extracurricular to that, but it doesn't go to the item.
Right.
It may be best suited, as one of the speakers stated, for Citizens Forum, where that issue is brought up, but that's all up to you.
Or during our budget discussions.
That as well.
Right.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, let's
so.
hear what everyone else. Did you have anything else, Mr. Joseph?
Like I said, I'm interested in having this program go forward. I'm delighted with the response and to have it develop and expand, but I'm also interested in seeing what other interest there is throughout the city for English, Spanish, and to promote it correctly in order that we can get the right response, or to make sure that we have a response from the people that are truly interested.
Okay. Anyone else?
I have a question. So
Go ahead.
when you say you have the capacity to add one more, that means we continue Russian 3 times a week, and we can add another program also 3 times a week.
I think it was 3 and 2, correct?
3 and 2 is what we had before. We could fit the third, but it would probably be on a Saturday. We have availability on Saturday.
So exactly. So it will be like 3 and 3, continue Russian, and then adding a new program that could be Spanish only.
That's up to the commission.
Yeah, but
we've had no request for Spanish at this time.
But that's where I have kind of an issue, because, and I'm going to read, it says, in accordance with our competitive bidding process, the following shall be exempt from the competitive bidding process, which is artistic services, which are original and creative in character and skill and are recognized field or artistic endeavor, blah, blah, blah. So this is always been a staff decision. It's been administrative. And like our city manager was saying, the program started in English and then it morphed to Russian only. And I was actually reading in the contract as well, and for the program to be alive, you only need 5 people to be pre-registered. So we are never part of this discussion. For just to give an example, in our last book, we are having tango dancing and salsa dancing. We didn't vote for those. That didn't came to us for our approval or direction, etc. So it is interesting that this is coming for our direction right now, but if that's the case, I would like to also give the same opportunity that the Russian community is having to even a larger people in population, which is the Spanish community, and to have a Spanish-only theater, and continue the Russian as well.
Mr. City Manager, can you again clarify why this is coming in front of the commission and why tango or something else is not coming in front of the commission?
This item exceeds my $50,000 spending authority.
And can you just clarify, what is our, how many programs do we have where we're actually making some money? Approximately.
Very few.
If I may, the contract as with all of our instructor-led programs is a 70-30 split.
Right.
So we make 30% on every registration. The instructor makes 70% on every registration. This is the only instructor-led program that exceeds the $50,000, which is the city manager's authority to spend without coming before you. So it's the only one.
All
And
right,
it's
so in
based
effect,
on
it's our most successful program monetarily.
And that's because that 70%,
Instructor-led.
that 70% that goes to the instructor exceeds the 50,000.
Correct.
That's what that is.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you for clarifying it.
And I also have another question. How much are they paying monthly? 300, and if you're not a non-resident, 500. Do we have any other program that is 3 times a week, and do we have any other program that is expensive at that one? Because this is $300 a month, per child. If you're a resident, to become a resident, you have to go through certain requirements as well. So if you're not a resident, you have to pay $500. So 600 if you're not a resident. Okay, correction. And also, when we said that 30% is to cover our expenses, are we there putting the price of renting that space and everything else that it comes with it?
No, that 30% covers that overhead.
Precisely. So it's not a like accurate administrative like breakdown of expense and costs and revenue or income. So I don't see that the money is an issue here. How much? And I know it's very successful for the instructor. Clearly, she's been making over $50,000 from the program, which is amazing because apparently they're very talented and very loved by their community. So, like I said, it's interesting that this is coming to us for our discussion when it's always been something staff or administrative, and that's what I put the salsa and the tango as an example, that didn't come to us. And like I said, and this is a question for our city attorney, which is about Title VI and about the Florida Civil Rights Act, and who is being included or excluded from these programs that they are in the city, a city program with the city staff and city properties.
You meaning in regards to the language? Yeah. Well, your programs and services are essentially should be offered with meaningful access, either directly or indirectly. Should not be exclusionary. So it's on a case-by-case basis, but there should be. My counsel to you, there should be an English component to any program you offer. I mean, obviously, if you're offering a class to teach Russian, that's different, right? Or it's teach Spanish or something or other, because that's why you're going there. But here you're offering theater classes, and essentially, and I don't have all the details, but if it's exclusively in Russian, that would either indirectly or directly exclude a large swath of your population. Recognizing that constitutionally English is the official language of Florida, like for example, these proceedings have to be in English, right? You can't just switch, even though let's say 95% of your residents speak Spanish, these proceedings today could not occur in Spanish. They'd have to be in English. So there should be some component, because you do go down the road of it being exclusionary, or at least perceived that way, and it may create some situation where the city may, again, using taxpayer dollars, having to offer it to the whole of your population and not to a particular certain group. So you have to be very wary of that. So my recommendation to you is you should have some English component to it so that it opens up the door to others that may be either directly or indirectly feel excluded from participation in this particular program.
Do you have any other questions? Okay.
So I have a question.
Wait. Let somebody else go. Vice Mayor?
Okay, so just to take it from the top. So basically what we're approving here today is $400, right? Well, but the difference here, we've exceeded by an amount of $400, right? Okay. So let's work on the split then, right? No. So basically, I mean, I support the arts. I love to see this continue. Actually, I love to see this expanded into other languages, English being the first and Spanish as well, if there's the demand for that. And perhaps, I don't know if it will be the same theater company or a different theater company, but I think that, again, being a supporter of the arts, I think that we should probably offer it in different languages. I know there's logistical issues, but let's see how we could make it happen. Okay. And then, yeah, I mean, I like to see it continue, but I don't think that's the discussion here today. I mean, we're just basically approving the $400. That's why I was a little bit taken by surprise when, you know, I started receiving emails and there was this rumor that it was going to get canceled. So I wasn't sure. So just for everybody to understand, and the mayor mentioned this, is that everything that exceeds $50,000 in cost, we need to approve it. The city manager has the authority to approve anything that's $50,000 and below. After $50,000, we need to kind of have a meeting and approve that for him. So that's why we're here, sitting here. We're talking about $400 right now. So that's what we're here approving. So, yeah. But aside from that conversation, yeah, I support the arts. I like to see this in, you know, English and Spanish. And I'm sure that our Portuguese-speaking community will probably want it in Portuguese if there's a demand. So, yeah, I like to see more kids and more people get involved in the arts. So I fully support it.
Commissioner Viscara?
I don't think we should be talking about programming at all.
I agree with you.
I think whatever it is, $500, whatever we're over, I'm in favor of approving and giving the manager the authority to, you know, make the teacher whole, because she's, you know, good for her. She succeeded, you know, so she needs to get paid what she's earned. And I'm in favor of that. And I think the rest of this conversation is a separate issue altogether.
I agree with you on that 100%. Okay, did you want to add something, or could we take a vote?
I was only looking to ask the attorney regarding if there's been a fair representation that we offered, going back to where we could have a problem with just offering Russian, which I believe if we've made a fair representation and we didn't have enough membership for English, then it could never be an issue with having the Russian. Is that correct?
Well, it's a moving target because it's every time. So typically I think it's anywhere from 5 to 15 registrants that are required for a particular program. So you could have a registration for one registration.
How could you have a play with 5 children? It really makes no sense.
That's why it's on a case-by-case basis. But, right, so I don't know for this particular contract. I don't have it in front of me. It may be 15. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it says 15.
I think we need to stay on the topic, as Commissioner Viscara said.
Expansion would be for another day.
No, I understand, but that's not. We're not voting on the contract. We're voting on the difference. So I think we can.
Or the expansion.
We're not voting on the expansion.
No,
we're not.
No, we're not.
We can have that conversation separately. I'd like to be able to vote on this so we can move ahead. I think everyone has been heard. I think we do have a consensus that we love the theater. We'd love to expand it in every single language if possible. And if every single teacher was as great as your teacher, I think we would probably
And we want to have our own playhouse as well. One day.
Okay. So I'll take a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, thank you. I'll give you guys just a minute. If you want to stay, you can stay, but you don't have to stay.
Please show up for other issues as well. We need your input. Thank you.
Where are we going? 8A? 8B.
Exactly. The quorum.
We need people to be involved.
Right.
City attorney, city clerk, I'm being asked some questions.
We
The
can
item is
continue,
closed, but-
yeah. So after the meeting,
Okay.
Commissioner Stuyvesant.
All right, next item, please. Oh,
Okay.
go back to 8B, please.
Yes, that's the item that we needed.
Back to ordinances.
Ordinance for second reading, which is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, creating Chapter 4 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sunny Isles Beach entitled Ceremonial Recognitions, providing for legislative intent, providing for definitions, providing for types of recognition, providing for criteria, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date.
Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
All right, I will take comments from the commission. Take a motion then.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Mauricio?
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant. 8B.
AB.
Yeah.
Oh, the one with the recognitions?
Yes.
Skipped it. Oh, no, I'm a no there, like I said before, for the same reason of we are excluding members of the media and former elected officials. So, yeah, I'm a no because of that.
Vice Mayor Svechin. Excuse me, Mayor Svechin. Sorry about that.
Yes. All right. I know it's
Thank you.
confusing. We've been a little bit all over the place. Okay, so now we're back to resolutions.
Yes. So now
9A.
9A is a resolution approving a First Amendment to the agreement with Red Speed Florida for the installation of additional red light cameras.
Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is approval to add two additional red light cameras at intersections throughout the city.
Do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll take comments from the commission. Take a motion.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, 9B, please. 9B and C we're combining, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
9B is a resolution authorizing the expenditure of budgeted funds for the purchase of 9 vehicles from Bartow Ford. 9C is a resolution authorizing the expenditure of budgeted funds for the purchase of 4 vehicles from Allen J Fleet Sales.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, if you recall, we sought approval from you to pre-purchase vehicles due to availability and the potential of tariffs going forward. So we're requesting to purchase these vehicles now versus the new budget.
Any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any comments? I'll take a
No.
motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor for both?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. 9D.
9D is a resolution ratifying a Fifth Amendment to the agreement with Jorda Enterprises for the inspection and preventive maintenance services for the HVAC equipment located at the Government Center.
Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is ratifying a Fifth Amendment to the agreement with Jorda for preventative maintenance services for our air conditioning. And we will, after this, be putting out to bid citywide HVAC preventative maintenance services.
Any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Comments from the commission?
No.
I'll take
This
a
is the one. This is for time only, right? This is the one that's only about time.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
All right, I'll take a
Yes.
motion.
Okay. So moved.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
9E is a resolution authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute an agreement with Millennium Products to furnish and install elevator surveillance cameras at various locations.
City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, if you recall, this was a request by the commission that we install cameras in the elevators, and this authorizes us to do that in an amount not to exceed $150,000.
Do we have public speakers, Mauricio?
No speakers, ma'am.
All right. For clarification, how many cameras would this bring us up to?
425.
Perfect. Any comments from the
Throughout
commission?
the city. I'd just like to say on the record that this was my original request for cameras in the elevators, and I'm glad to see it finally being installed. Thank you.
Take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
9F.
9F is a resolution approving a First Amendment to the agreement with KVP Enterprises, doing business as Expert Diesel for services and repair of city buses with diesel engines.
City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this gives us approval for the First Amendment with KVP Enterprises to repair our city buses that are diesel.
Okay. Are there public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any comments? I'll take a motion then.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item.
9G is a resolution authorizing an increase in spending authority with Wex Bank for the purchase of citywide unleaded fuel using a fuel card program.
City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this authorizes an increase in spending for the purchase of citywide unleaded fuel using a fuel card program.
Do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
And I know there was questions asked during the agenda review. I'm looking at the email, but it's hard for me to see. Could you just clarify, Susan, the questions that were requested, more information on for the fuel cards and what kind of discounts we get, if any?
We get a 1.9% rebate, which equated to
7,400.
Thank you.
Great.
So this is for the police,
It's all city vehicles.
all city vehicles, and so the driver can go to any gas station anywhere? Is that it?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, we have quite a difference in prices throughout our city. Are they told not to go to certain stations or no?
We're going to have that conversation with them. Yes.
So, but it hasn't been up to now. So we could be paying $1 more a gallon for no reason.
That is possible. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Take a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
9H is a resolution approving a First Amendment to the agreement with Team Contracting for the installation of a new pre-engineered metal building.
City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is an amendment with Team Contracting. This is for installation of a pre-engineered building that's going to help house some of our public works equipment.
Okay. And do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
During the agenda review, I had asked if there was an opportunity to soundproof.
There is, and the approximate cost for that would be $25,000
$25,000. Okay.
if we were to add soundproofing.
All right. Can we have that discussion now, or did that needs to wait until the second? Well, no, this isn't only one reading, so how would that work?
No, the discussion would be now because we'd have to amend the contract.
Okay.
Right.
So it
The
was.
location is where?
Wait a second. Wait, Commissioner Joseph. So just to give everyone an understanding, it was we had discussed about adding soundproofing to the entire building, since we have the opportunity right now. So go ahead, ask your questions.
But let's clarify where the location of the building is, please.
It's under the William Lehman Causeway.
Right. So there's a degree of noise that would be, if there's no insulation, there would be a greater amount of noise, correct?
Yes.
That the community would suffer?
Potentially.
Potentially.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in
Soundproofing.
that regard, we're looking to have soundproofing if it's accepted.
Yes, we have received some complaints from the residents regarding the noise, and this would help buffer.
Commissioner Viscar, did you have a question?
No, when you brought up soundproofing, I thought it was for the workers inside, but you're worried about the
People
residents outside.
Yes.
Yes.
So, okay. So, no, I'm fine.
Okay. Let me, if I can.
Wait, let me just see if anyone else
Okay.
has, Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I'm trying to see how big is this structure? Let's try and find that, the size.
And under the causeway is extremely noisy as it is.
And it echoes, yes.
So but as it is, it's noisy. So
Well, I want to speak about that in a minute.
I'll have to get the size to you. We're looking
Yeah.
for it now.
And then regarding the soundproofing, I mean, do we need the soundproofing there because it's already noisy there? I mean,
I'll clarify why that
I
was.
wanna understand.
Yeah, so let me clarify why that was requested. So right now, it's just noisy there, given there's cars, overhead. But under the William Lehman is where we do a lot of our work. So there have been residents that have complained that when we do any sort of work there, adjacent to Golden Shores, it's very loud for them, including any sort of pressure washing or anything of that sort. So the idea was, or the request was, since we will be doing the majority of the work now inside of this building, can we soundproof it so that we can mitigate some of that sound?
Yeah.
That
So,
noise,
so
rather.
is it a building or is it going to be storage? That's what is it going to serve as a office or just storage? Because I'm trying, I mean, if it's necessary, it's necessary. If it's not, then it's not. That's what I'm trying to.
Mr. City Manager, can you
Yes.
clarify, please?
Vice Mayor, the size is 36 feet by 130 feet. And it comes with, it's going to be wind load rated at 170 miles an hour. It's going to have 24 gauge wall and roof panels, 3 metal doors, 3 overhead doors, 6 windows. And to answer your question, it's not going to be used as an office as much as it is for storage and cleaning up the yard, and also for safety and security. But I will tell you that I do receive some complaints from the abutting residents sometimes about the necessary work that we're doing at the public works yard, where we're cleaning or maintaining some of our equipment.
But will that work now be done inside of this building? That's the question.
Some of it will, but not all of it. It's an active public works yard, so there's trucks coming and going.
Right.
Some of it, yes, but not all of it.
And then,
Wait, let's one at a
Yeah,
time.
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, finish. You have the floor.
so then I would suppose, I'm trying to picture this, is that we'll be going in there, throwing some equipment in there, is going to obviously hit the metal, and it will make noise. And that's what we're trying to mitigate,
No.
right?
Wait,
It's
wait,
going to be a
let-
store. It's
hold
going to
on,
be a
Jerry.
storage. I mean, it's not so much
Some
going to be an
storage.
office. No, but he just.
When I was referring to office, I meant, let's say, the office as I'm thinking about it. But I
Okay.
understand your question now. We will use it for doing some work inside the
There's gonna
building
be
as well.
people inside,
Let's say, yes,
moving around
some
and-
prefabricating, some welding, some of that type of
Okay.
activity.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to
Go
understand.
ahead, Commissioner Joseph.
So you're not familiar with Golden Shores? That
I am familiar, yeah.
Okay, well, the backyard's on 191st
Terrace.
Terrace. Yeah.
Mhm.
So they abut the causeway.
Yeah.
And
I've walked
also-
around there,
and
yeah.
also the yard.
Mhm.
Okay. So there's pressure washing being done there when people are trying to sit in their backyards at their pools
Mhm.
to enjoy a Saturday. And on Saturdays even, there's pressure washing being done. And I get so many complaints.
Okay.
And it's just intolerable. And it's not something that the residents bargained for or they should have to live with.
Okay.
Mr.
Soundproofing the building doesn't necessarily mean that the pressure washing is going to be happening
that's-
inside the building.
Yeah.
Some work is still going to be done outside, and
Well,
there's, I mean, I'm just saying, pressure washing specifically, I assume it, because I don't know exactly how it's going to be done, but pressure washing specifically, that
It
noise is not
depends
going to
how
go
the
away.
drainage is
Hold on.
set up.
Let Commissioner Viscar
So,
finish.
well, work being done inside the building, whatever it is, again, I'm not, and you guys know I don't have space. Like, can you tell me in terms of this room, like how many rows of seats, like how big a space are we talking about? Like how big a building?
3 large bedrooms.
Can
Okay.
you tell, like, is it like the blue
Wait.
seats?
Can we just direct through me and then to the manager so we can all hear the answer?
So a decent sized
Wait,
bedroom is 30
wait.
feet.
Jerry.
That doesn't help me, Jerry.
Jerry.
I need
Well,
you to tell
Stop,
me. in
stop,
terms of
stop.
the seats.
Can we ask staff, please, to answer that question?
Okay. So
It's similar to
on.
this size building.
yeah, this size.
Similar to
Similar.
this. Okay, this
Yes.
is-
Not
okay.
as big, but similar.
Okay.
Yes, to this space.
But that
Just
helps
spatially.
me.
Yes.
Width-wise,
Right.
it's
That
going to
helps
be
me.
like
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so that's a substantial space.
Yes.
And
And if the drainage is done correctly.
Commissioner Joseph, let her finish,
can do
please. She's
pressure
got
washing
the
inside.
floor.
but anyway, I don't know because we're not going to decide like what gets done there or whatever. But I think if we go with this, those residents need to understand that soundproofing may or may not solve their problem, and it's not for us to then go tell Public Works to do the pressure washing inside. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not for us
if we
to
can
do.
mitigate someone's
So-
misery.
Wait
then
a
it's
second.
up to
Let
the city to try.
let Commissioner Stuyvesant go. She hasn't had an opportunity. Do you have anything to say?
Not much, like I don't know who can have the expectation of being not noisy when you live next to a highway.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the highway up top of you. So, I mean, if you want to have the noise of the little birds, etc., probably that's not the best location,
That's not.
So I don't, again, it's about expectations. You are living next to a highway. What is the expectation of no noise? So,
Okay, so I don't, wait. Let me get more clarification. I don't think that the conversation is about no noise. I think it's just mitigating noise.
When
So
the people
Stan,
bought the property, they knew there was a highway.
Commissioner Joseph, I know you're really passionate about this, and I agree with you actually, but I'd like to be able to hear from the manager, based on the complaints that you've gotten and really the nature of the complaints, would this additional 25,000 help to mitigate that noise, or do you think it's not going to help at all? Or can you not even answer that question? Because I think the majority of it is the pressure washing.
I believe it will help mitigate it, yes, but I want to be clear, not entirely. It is
Okay.
a full public works yard, but I do believe it will mitigate some of the noise, yes.
All right.
Now,
You can say one more thing and then let's take a vote.
Okay. So during construction, if we set up the interior with French drains, that would allow for us to do pressure washing inside, correct?
No, we can't use a pressure washer inside a structure
Why not?
because of the exhaust.
But it has a long hose. You just have a longer hose and you have the machine outside.
You need to check your warranties too. You may avoid your warranties doing that.
but you don't know how much of that.
It's a metal prefab, so if you use water inside, you may
I think that from what Commissioner Joseph is saying is something that I had discussed with the manager as well, is just moving the pressure washing away as far to the north
so you
as
just need
possible.
more
Doesn't necessarily
fresh
need to
air.
be
That's all.
inside,
Put a
but just
fan.
because this will
Put
be
an exhaust
completely,
fan.
this will be adjacent to the north end of
It's
the
always,
property. Hold on,
we have
Commissioner
to have
Joseph.
discussions where we and do things. We can't have another gateway building.
All right.
We have to do things
Commissioner
where we use our
Where
use
is the
common
where
sense.
where is it going to be located exactly? On what end?
It's going to be on the closer end to the east side.
East side?
No,
West side.
West side.
Deputy Manager.
It'll be just to the east of the new pump station
Right.
and on the north side.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, the south side. So
it's going
the
to
south side of the layman, north of those homes, but the south side of the under layman, east of the pump station.
and there's no way to put it north on the northern side of
That would be worse for the residents on 191st Terrace because this building is going to help buffer the beeping sound of backup vehicles.
see.
It'll
Okay.
help buffer the sound of the
Okay.
pressure washing.
I got it. All right. You want to add?
Yeah, so
Please
so
go
can
ahead.
can you repeat the cost of soundproofing this structure?
25.
It was estimated at 25,000.
Yeah, the issue I have is that if we order it without soundproofing, can we then go back and soundproof it? Can we do that or no?
Oh, that would
Because
be more
if
expensive.
not, then we might as well just order it with soundproof and that's it, you know?
Yeah.
I think the soundproofing is a separate contractor would come in. No?
But I think you should look into it because remember the other issue is if you wait, then with their current politics, but soundproofing is now 10 times more than what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
you don't want to kick the
1,000%
can
Yeah,
down the
so
road.
congratulations. You just So I mean if we're gonna do it, we should decide it now.
Yeah, I think, listen, if we're gonna do it, we might as well do it. And if it helps mitigate some noise and some discomfort for the residents, then that's fine. I mean, I think if we then buy the structure and then we say, oh, you know what, we should have soundproofed it.
And it
then,
might make it.
then, I mean, the cost is, I mean, I don't like spending money that doesn't need to be spent, but I think, by soundproofing it, it'll help somewhat, because especially this is public works. They're going to be doing stuff in there. So.
Okay.
And the workers aren't
I'll
always that
take-
considerate.
Oh, all right.
They gotta do their
that's
work.
not, I'll take a motion.
If I can just get clarification before you do a motion. So is it with team contracting that's doing the soundproofing?
Yes,
Is it 25 or about 25?
it is up to 25. It's actually estimated at $21,000 in Tuesday's prices.
So if you move as amended with an additional $25,000 for soundproofing, we'll adjust the contract and we shouldn't have to come back to you.
Okay.
Perfect.
So Commissioner Joseph will make that motion as amended.
Yes, I will make the motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, great.
Thank you, everyone.
Next item. 9I.
9I is a resolution approving a third amendment to the agreement with Universal Protection Service, doing business as Allied Universal Security Services for unarmed security guard services at the Government Center.
City Manager.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is a third amendment with Universal Protection Services. They are the company that provides our security guard services at the Government Center 24 hours a day.
Okay, do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any comments from the commission? I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jay?
9J is a resolution approving an agreement with commercial interior contractors for renovation services for the 4th floor of the Government Center.
City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this agreement with Commercial Interior Contractors Corporation is to provide needed renovation and construction of the 4th floor.
Okay, do we have any public speakers, Mauricio?
No, ma'am.
All right. Any comments or questions? I'll take a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. 9L.
9L is a resolution declaring zoning in progress related to the mixed-use resort district, town center district, neighborhood business district, and business overlay districts.
Your City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is declaring our zoning in progress in order for us to continue to look at the zoning process, and it would be for 3 months.
Thank you. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any comments or questions? I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Do we have any other public speakers?
Yes, we have just one. Vitaly Falkovich.
I know you're a regular, Vitaly, but please just your name and your address for the record.
My name is Vitaly Falkovich, 9280 Southwest 167 Terrace, Palmetto Bay, Florida. As I come here as a visitor to this area, you can always tell the way the administration runs, and you can always tell when you have a city manager. And what I mean by that is, as you look as workers, as I do business here, I think 5 times a month, you can tell how amazing Sunny Isles Beach is. I'm talking about some people who are workers. And that shows what great administration, what a great mayor, vice mayor, city management, city commission, and city manager. You guys should be very blessed because you do a great job. When you go home today and you look in the mirror, you guys should know that you guys do a great job. Watching your Facebook and seeing your complaints, yet you see there's nobody here. You can't have a results if you don't come and speak at a commission meeting. Yet you can always complain. It's not about complaining, it's solving the problem. And I see you guys solving the problem every month. And I appreciate you, especially our police department and other employees. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mauricio?
That's all, ma'am.
Okay, with that. What is your question?
Hurry up, it's almost 7:45.
Okay, so about the clarification about the theater.
Okay.
Wait, we have to add then a discussion item.
Okay, so I would like to.
We always have options for that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that's
I'm
just the
okay.
clarification.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, we're okay with this?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
No, I just want a clarification what's going to be the end result, because people went out clapping and happy. So I just want to know what's going to be the end result.
So based on previous discussions with the city commission, we understood that you wanted English. The instructor would not commit to English only. She would only commit to both Russian and English. And at the time we said, we'll be discussing it with the commission. She did agree to do both, but she would not agree to do English only. So we have been actively looking for an English theater instructor based on the discussions that we had with this commission. So we did speak to the instructor, asking her to do English. She gave us the ultimatum of Russian and English or not at all.
So is this, sorry.
Wait, hold on.
Is this to have
wait,
two groups or to
wait,
have
please.
one group?
Commissioner Joseph, let Susan finish her
Yes,
sentence,
but
please.
it's not clear.
If you let her speak, it will be clear. Go ahead.
So we put her programming on hold for the summer until we could have this discussion with commission. It got back to the parents that it was being canceled, but that is Russian only had the potential of not continuing based on the direction given by, or the desire that we heard from this body, and the fact that the instructor would not do just English.
Okay.
Okay.
So to that,
Let Commissioner Susan finish.
last year in 2024, we had to also have a resolution like this one because we went over the 50,000. So we went over 50,000 2 years in a row. So maybe it will be time to bid this and not just to give it to a one instructor or a one contractor that we are just choosing to get to do. We're giving it just to one person without having the option of other people. We are not part of the process. I don't think it's really transparent for the people to know. It can be perceived like we are doing favors to certain when it's not open. And that's maybe the beauty of the bidding process, because it's open to everyone. Having said that, like I said clearly today, and I have here some data, actually 46% out of the 22,125 residents of Sunny Isles Beach, according to the 2023 American Community Survey data, speak Spanish. 46.2. Slavic languages is 7.7, which is like Ukrainian, Serbian, etc. And Russian is 6.7. So if we put Slavic and Russian, they barely make 15% of the population. So, and that was why I was referencing to our city attorney that we are using a city property to bring this program with clearly when we had a big portion of the students, they speak Russian, the teacher went from English originally to Russian, which makes a lot of sense. The majority are Russian speakers. It could have happened if they were a Spanish speaker as well, with a Spanish teacher. So maybe we had a Spanish teacher from the very beginning, like we had in some sports, and we had issues in the past with certain sports where the coach only speaks Spanish or barely speak English, and then the other people that speak other languages feel excluded. And I think we had done an amazing good job solving those issues. Here again, we're giving, I don't know of any other program, and you know how my kids in our programs, so I am very familiar with the programming, that we are giving the space 3 times a week, and that we are charging that amount of money. So, like I said, if we have going over the 50,000 for 2 years in a row, maybe it will make sense now to bid this. And I am, like Vice Mayor said, and I think everybody here, I'm all for the arts. And I wish we can have every language, theater and other programming. But as of right now, 85% of the population of Sunny Isles, and I'm putting Slavic and Russian together, okay, is being excluded from this 3 days a week program. So that's why we like the clarification. I just don't want to have the surprise of opening the book and see that we are in the same place where we are right now.
Okay, while I appreciate your data, that's assuming that all of those people are also interested in the theater program.
Exactly.
But you don't know that. So you can't.
Of course not.
Right. So it's not really apples to apples. And also, I don't believe that those are accurate numbers. There's no way there's only 6% of the population that speaks Russian. You go down the street and that's all you hear. But in any case, I hear what you're saying. And I think that this is discussion we can have during the budget process. I don't, for me personally, I think that taking something and trying to fix it when it's not broken is a waste of time. This is our most successful program. Why would we try to tear it apart?
Oh, nobody wants to tear it apart. I just wanted to give the same option to other communities, like our largest community, which is the Spanish community.
Sure. Commissioner Joseph?
So my issue is with a lot of issues with the city as far as advertising and getting the word out to residents so that we can have a a response that we're all thinking that we should have. It's very surprising to me that we would have, even if we have a Russian community that's 26 or 30%, still there's 70% that did not respond to theater class. That makes no sense to me at all. I'm so happy that we have a great response with the Russian, and we have residents that are enjoying it and participating, and that's what you want from a city program. But we have a lot of residents that I feel are just, for one reason or another, they just didn't respond because they didn't get the right information in a timely manner. The city, and I've said it so many times, we're great at doing things, a lot of things, but we don't get the word out well, and we need to be better at that.
Vice Mayor?
So I have a question. So the current instructor for the theater, so she will do Russian. She'll do a group of Russian children and a group for English speaking, right? And she started with only English, or English, two groups, English and Russian, and the English kids, they really just kind of.
It was started as English only.
It started,
and
English
it evolved into Russian, and then
Okay.
both were being offered.
Mhm.
And then when both were offered, we did not have sufficient enrollment in the English only class.
Okay. Okay.
And so then we kept and continued the successful program.
So which is Russian. Okay. Now, you mentioned that we're actively looking for a teacher for English, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that if this teacher does English too? Just to have
Because
a
she will
separate- so
because she will only do English if she can also do Russian.
Okay.
And what I heard from this group previously was
Mhm.
English only, or English and Spanish and Russian. And I don't have enough space to do English, Spanish, and Russian.
Got it. Got it. So right now, what do you have in mind, or what do we have in mind? Would it be a teacher that does Russian and then another teacher that does English?
If this commission would agree to the two programs and keep the Russian
Different instructors.
with the same instructor, that is a successful ongoing program, if it isn't broke. And then find a different instructor for the English, because obviously this instructor instructing in English was not a success.
That's
So
what I'm trying to get at,
ideally,
yeah. Mhm.
that would not be the ideal situation.
Is English her first or second language, this teacher?
I honestly cannot answer that, sir.
Okay, wait, Commissioner Viscar, did you want to add to the conversation?
Yeah, just so when I was listening to the speakers, I was taking down notes on what they said that they valued, right? Speaking with confidence, teamwork, connecting with others, social skills, memorizing. Yeah, I think, yeah, that was, and then the little story about the little girls.
Empathy.
So yeah, I mean, those are all good things. Not one of them said what they valued was the fact that it was in Russian. All of them said these other values. So, I mean, if there's I don't know. I think I do worry about the possibly excluding it, because I did get, I'm not going to tell you I got a lot, but I did get maybe 2 calls about, I went to join and I didn't know that this was only in Russian. And so when that happens, then we are excluding people. Maybe what happened, and because I didn't even know that this was I didn't even know that we had like a Russian theater program until like those complaints came in. And so I wonder if it's a matter of culture, right? That maybe we can keep the cultural piece. Like, I've read a lot of Russian literature, but I assure you it wasn't in Russian, right? Because I don't speak Russian, but I read translations. So maybe it can be a theater where, with that inclusive language, but if people want to explore plays, the Russian plays, but in English, that can be done. And then the Spanish speakers can come in and if it's important, I can't think of a Spanish play right now, but in English, but translated. I was thinking that's the only one I could think of was Don Quixote, but I don't think that's something that the kids would do. Plus, it's a little long. But so maybe we can rethink this to save the program, but also to make sure that there aren't kids that there may not be enough kids to carry the English piece, but there are some, and they don't get to play because there's not enough to carry a program. And so maybe we just need to rethink it a little bit. I mean, that's not one of them said that what they valued was the fact that it was an issue.
Yeah, but hold on. I think that the deputy manager has a good idea as far as trying to find an English speaker, because potentially the reason that we don't have the English speakers signing up is because this teacher might be clearly is very successful in Russian, but in English she's not. So I don't know if it works to have her do both rather than try to find an English speaking teacher. But with that said, I want to defer to staff because they know better than we do. And I got to say that we've had programs that should have been successful, but we couldn't find a teacher, like chess. We have so many kids that want to play chess, but we can't get a teacher to stay because the price is not, they want to get paid much more, so they don't stick around. So it's not always so easy to match those two together. But I think with theater, there might be an opportunity to find a teacher, especially since they will see how successful the Russian program is, and they can have that same level of success.
And to that, I actually got a call and an email from a vendor, which I forward to you guys, that has the capability to do English, Spanish, I don't know what else, to be honest.
Is that the Spanish theater that email does?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I forward to the staff because they were asking for direction how to register as vendor. Clearly, we don't do that, so I send it to the city manager, deputy, chief of staff, etc. So, like I said, maybe it will be good to bid the process. Also, when this teacher, the one that we have right now, signed the contract said that we need 5 registers, 5 participants. Those are the terms of the contract. It's so good that we have so many. And also, to your point, Commissioner Vizcarra, it's beautiful all what the kids were saying that they were gaining from this. Wouldn't be beautiful to give the same opportunity to all the children that you were saying? Yeah. So that would be perfect to have all the skills to be for everyone and not only for a portion of our population. And plus, even the show that they work during the whole semester or whatever, they don't present the show here in Sunny Isles Beach. No. They present that outside from our city. So basically what we are providing is the space to meet. which there are other places where they could meet also and continue if it's that successful, and the instructor is making over $50,000 with only these 3 hours, 3 weeks, 3 times a week. I mean, an hour every 3 times a week. Maybe that I'm not telling anybody how to do their business, but apparently there is a good business opportunity to put it somewhere else, you know. And to my point, I am in Pelican every single day of the week, at least twice a day with my child. And I do receive a lot of complaints from both the English speaking and the Spanish speaking people. They would like to have the same access and opportunities. It has never been given to them, and they would like to have the opportunity as well to have, if we're going to continue Russian only, it will be the more Solomonic thing to do also Spanish only for the Spanish community. And I know that's where probably things get complicated. And maybe instead of giving it 3 times a week, maybe we have 1 day English, 1 day Spanish, 1 day Russian. Because I don't think anybody that wants to really be a professional actor is going to be a professional actor from these classes. So once a week for for all those languages, I think will be a good thing.
And that's why generally, just because you're going to go down this rabbit hole where you're going to have to offer all these different languages, and you're not going to have capacity. That's why you have a central language, English, where you're teaching theater. You're going to have Russian children, Spanish children. You need to have some sort of, because you're just going to keep chasing, then it'll be this language and that language. Now you're going to have 5, 6 theater classes, some with high capacity, some little capacity. It's just, that's why you want to focus on a central language, which I presume these kids go to school here, so they do speak English. They are functioning in English. So just from a legal standpoint, you go down that hole where now you start. So what about, I don't know, another program we offer that decides that's predominantly Spanish kids in there. So now it's going to be mostly Spanish.
We have predominantly Spanish speaking soccer team.
Right. So then all of a sudden now you're going to have an English only soccer.
Can't have that.
It's just a very slippery slope.
Commissioner Joseph, you wanted to say something?
Okay. Yes. So we have a successful Russian acting group. I'm not looking to destroy it. I don't think anyone's intention is to destroy it. Like I said, we're looking to expand. If we have, maybe we can have successful Spanish speaking and English speaking. I don't think we've actually delved into the fact. I know this is department run. The commissioners don't have anything to do with it. So we're depending upon the department to offer it correctly, advertise it correctly. For me, still, I can't believe that we didn't have enough interest for Spanish residents or English residents, and it was only the Russian residents that came out. And another thing that I heard, which didn't come out tonight, was that there is a very strong cultural part of the Russian acting that is relevant to the people that were here tonight. The one student that spoke, he didn't mention that, but the parents mentioned it to me in conversations I had and in writings that they sent me. So it is important to them culturally. And I think the teacher who, if I haven't spoken with her, I don't know who she is, but I just have a feeling that Russian may be her first language. And she has a rapport with the kids that an English teacher would not. So I think that's a part of what made it successful.
Okay.
And did not, enamor the English-speaking kids to the class.
Yeah, I actually appreciate you saying that. Additionally, I think that's something that we are taking for granted is the level of interest of the parents in making it a successful program. And as we know, if you have any group of kids acting and the parents are into it, then it becomes even more successful. So their commitment to bringing their kids 3 times a week and the fact that they get to see the show at the end. And I believe the only reason that they don't have the show here is because we don't have the space for them to actually put it on. They would very much like to
I'm
put it
working
on.
on it.
Thank you. All right. I suggest that we leave it up to staff because we can want all we want, but if we don't have a teacher, then
Which we do.
Well, we don't. As of this moment, we don't.
We do. We don't have a hiring contract, but we do have people who offer their services.
I understand there's people that offer their services, but right now staff is not giving us any information about
Well, they
a
haven't
teacher.
been screened. We don't know
Right. So
who
what
they
I'm
are.
what I'm
Exist.
suggesting is
They
that we
exist.
allow staff to do their job and make a recommendation back to us for the next session. Is there any objections to that?
No?
Okay.
I do have a clarification with
Sure.
something else, and that's for the city attorney, please. I was made aware from an elected official who called me with a very serious accusation. He told me that I was vetting and interviewing potential city managers. So I clarified to him how we hire the city managers. He said that I was interviewing city managers with a consultant from Aventura. So I would like, please, to the city attorney to say how is the process to hire the city manager will make any difference if I, one commissioner out of this body, will be interviewing potential city managers. Will that make any difference to our hiring process for the city manager?
It's very difficult to answer on the fly. I need a lot more information. We need to sit down and be able to.
Okay,
discuss that.
because I want to clarify that I haven't done that. I haven't interviewed anybody. I haven't offered that job to anybody. This city official was really very upset about it because apparently I was interviewing somebody who was his opponent in an election. And he told me that this came from the mayor, that the mayor specifically said that I am interviewing potential city managers. And like I said, I want to put on the record that I'm not interviewing anybody, and it's only the mayor who can bring forward a city manager to be hired, and we all have to vote for it. So again, I want to make sure that people know that I'm not looking forward, or I don't have the power neither to hire or to fire our city manager. Okay, Stan, so I want you to know that. And I wanted to please put it on the record, and maybe in the next meeting, we can clarify the process, how we hire city manager.
To meet and
Sure, yeah. I just wanted to put it on the record.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Mauricio.
That's
it.
Mayor.
Meeting adjourned.
What-
Thank you.
Just remember that next month, the meeting is on the 17th and not the 19th. So it's a Tuesday before the third Thursday.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. If we can actually also put it out on social media, just as a reminder,
Yes.
we get the big crowd.
So that we
Thank you.
can, get our
Yes.
real crowd
Yes.
in.